Hi everyone, this is Jason Zach from Nathaniel School of Music. Here are 5 super easy approaches on the piano to accompany yourself. You could be a beginner, you could be a intermediate person or whatever, but these are 5 approaches which they are easy to play and I think also very easy to understand. It doesn't require a lot of music theory and a lot of the technical stuff, and definitely not a lot of notation and things like that. So some of our YouTube videos are like this, a bit more freer viewing, so to speak. So I encourage you to get your keyboards out, get a notebook out if possible, and play along with me. Whatever I do in the video, it'll be great if you can follow along. If you're new to the channel, hello, there's a subscribe button up there somewhere or down there somewhere. Click that, please. There's a bell also for those of you who don't know. That will give you all the notifications whenever we go live, whenever we drop a new video, or in our channel's cases, a daily riff. So without any further delay, let's get cracking. First approach would be a fifth chord in the right hand. Now let's first figure out what a fifth chord is. A fifth chord is not like those major and minor chords with 3 notes. It just needs 2 notes. Fifth chords for piano, we just steal them from the guitarists who call it power chord, and we don't play it in the power area or the left hand. We played in the right hand instead. So if you take one fifth chord, there's something magical which can happen just with this one fifth chord. So what am I playing right now? I'm playing a G fifth. So G fifth will be root, fifth, octave. Root, perfect fifth in the octave, right? You can invert that chord as well. You can do D, G, D. You can also do G, D, G. And remember, this tutorial is to accompany yourself on the piano, not necessarily to play a tune on the keyboard. You're going to be singing something. So you go fifth chord, just hold it or play it on a pulse. And let's say this fifth chord is part of a scale, G major scale. What's the 1 of G major? G, right? So play some Gs. And I'd always encourage you to try and sing something because it's for the purpose of accompanying. So you should sing. Now what did I do there? I moved from the G root to a very legal note in the G major scale, right? E is there, so I move from the root to the 6th. And the bass movement makes all the difference for your harmony. It's not necessarily what all you change in the right hand. Yes, the right hand change does matter, but the left hand dictates it. It governs the way your song is actually moving in a journey. So so check that out. Right hand did nothing to move. It just stayed there. And look at the left hand. It just played G, E, C, D or something in the G major scale. Let's just keep exploring. Na 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 no. Na na no no. Na 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 no no. Na na. Sometimes your voice can influence the choice of the left hand. Sometimes the left hand could decide or influence your voice, what you sing. Like for example, that's a bit more uplifting. So you end up singing what you're playing. So that's the 5. So usually at the 5, it's a cycling note. So it's the 5 of the scale, so it's a dominant. It wants to come back to a loop, and then I would encourage you to create a loop using the 5th chord with a moving bass. Don't overdo it with the bass. So have to sound this peaceful as well. The fifth chord is not telling you that it's happy or sad. It's like a very neutral sound. So if you're on a G minor key or some minor, a lot of rock songs use this. I'm on the G minor now. Okay, so and you can do these things which you could never do with chords. You can do like a minor sixth going to a major sixth. That's something you can't do with when you're playing actual chords. It's very tricky. Even if you're a guitar player watching this, you may agree with me. Na 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 na. Now, even that F sharp, which is wrong, it kind of still works. You can get a very Phrygian sound by playing those dissonances, the 2 flat. So the fifth chord, don't think of it as happy or sad. It's a very neutral sound, and it's all down to your left hand doing its thing. Usually the right hand of the piano is considered the creative hand, but with this way of harmonizing or accompanying, I'm sure you'll agree that it's actually your left hand doing all the work. Your right hand is, well, just fixed. It's just a pillar. It's just staying there, right? So that was one way I think you can use as a beginner or at any level to just make some music or accompany yourself. Or if you're given a chord progression and maybe you don't know inversions or shifting of chords becomes a bit tricky, you could read the chart. G, E minor, C major, D major. Let's say that's your chart. You can just play G major. Don't think of it as G major, Think of it as a G fifth because you're in the key of G, and just play the root notes of all those chords in the left hand. G, E, C, D. You can also use this technique to kind of freely accompany yourself playing songs you don't even know the chords to. For example, I don't know the chords to this song. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. So I'm just kind of feeling it. I know I'm on the G scale. I'm just looking at any of those 7 notes. So and the sky is the limit here, Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. It also kind of makes you sing something creative. Na, 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 was so high, like a diamond in the sky. It's also great for gospel music because a lot of the hymns we play in church are extremely sophisticated harmonically. The notes move in counterpoint, they move in choral or orchestral harmony. So it becomes very tricky to kind of play chords for a hymn or for a traditional church song. So this technique can really help you. For example, if we pick Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound, like me. It kind of works with just a fifth there. I once was lost, but now I am found. Was blind. You can explore, but now I see. It kind of helps you to navigate through very complex songs as well, like hymns in a gospel scenario. right? So this is a good strategy, I think, to get cracking on the piano. However, I'm not done with the lesson. I have 4 more. Let's move on to the next way to accompany yourself super easy on the piano. Right, so a lot of people on our channel seem to watch my arpeggio lessons. So for some reason I tend to go overboard with the concept. There are a lot of advanced things out there on the channel where we add some notes, we do some fancy runs and stuff. But in this part, to accompany, you just need to take a chord and just figure out how do you break this up over a pattern. So let's say you're counting quavers, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and this is my chord, 2 and 3 and so how do you play a note for all those divisions, right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so you could do something like this. There we go. So while playing this arpeggio, just look how basic it is, right? It's just the chord starting with the bottom note, the middle note, the high note, and just kind of rounding them. And that's an arpeggio. It's that simple. L, M, H, M, as I like to call it. Or you can jumble it around. You can do high, middle, high, middle, stuff like that. Or maybe you could do high, low, middle, high, low, middle, high, low, middle, low. So you could apply this technique to accompany yourself for any song which I guess is more like a ballad. Like an Adele song, for instance, will work. Na, 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 so high, middle. Can change your arpeggio. Now if you're on a 3-4 kind of a scenario, like you can just play 3 notes of the arpeggio. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Like na 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 see me. Na 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 na. Stuff like this. Na 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 broken. Da 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 di da 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 di da da do. 1. Or if you're doing 6/8, what you can do is you could play 3 notes and then add the pinky to add up to the octave. So you can do things like stuff like this. Maybe basically swaying music. Na 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 na. So nice. So these are some basic arpeggios to get you to, accompany yourself. And moving forward, another strategy to quickly accompany yourself on the piano is what I call as the ballad ratios. Now, think of your hands as ratios. So if you take 1:4, this is how you go 1:4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. That's pretty much it. So your 2 hands are colliding at the same time. 1, 2. And then the other hand kind of goes a bit extra. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you take a chord, you're going to want to play the actual chord in the right hand. Because generally you play chords around middle C and above it, not, here. Sounds very muddy there. So right hand, 2, 3. You can play it around here. And the left hand, you're going to probably play the bass or the root of the chord, right? but you need to play this pattern such that it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, okay, 4, 1. Or anything. It could be 1, 2, 3, 1. If it's a waltz, birthday to you, 2, 3, 1. Stuff. 3 blind mice. Oh, I don't know why I'm singing nursery rhymes in all my videos. People have been complaining, so we need to figure that out. Okay, so you take the 1:4. Again, our favorite G minor chord now. So check this out. So you go 2, 3, 4. And just go 4 in the right and 4 in the left. Na, 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 F major. Na, 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 ru, ru, ru. Na, 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 na. Works for almost everything. And to make the rhythm a bit more interesting, you could kind of play it with an octave in your left, but instead of kind of holding the left like that, you can just take the thumb of the left and ghost it, as I call it. Ghosting basically means playing that octave very, very softly. So you feel the pump, you feel the energy, you don't really hear it as like that. That sounds a bit annoying if you ask me, because it's overshadowing the actual performance. So na 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 na, stuff like this. Na 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 na. 1:4. A few phrasings if you want, like things like that. You can always do by following the drummer and other musicians. So that's the ballad pivot. So any song you're trying to sing and play, start with this. See what ratio will serve my song. Is it a 3/4? In which case a 1:3 could work. Is it a 4/4? In which case a 1:4 could work. Even a 2:4 could work, and so on and so forth. So that's a nice way to like just get your accompaniment cracking, on track. Okay, so let's move on to the fourth strategy. This is what I call a syncopation, very much like how drums work. So you're learning a song, you want to figure out what pattern to play. You know the chords, but you want to figure out the pattern. So think of how your low frequency and high frequencies are going to chat with each other. So if you take, let's say, a D minor chord, you're going to play the root here and you'll probably play the chord there. But don't collide them together, unlike the earlier version, ratios, which is still good for ballads. But here, we're trying to make more dancey and more groovy kind of music. So instead of colliding both chords together, I can do things like left, right, right. Or maybe left, left, right, left, left, right. Just literally calling that out. Na 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 na, left, left, right, left, dum ba da da dum 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 dum. This can evolve into like a nice bass line, like ba boom boom, da dum dum dum, ka dum ba boom boom, ka doo doo dum dum, can also inspire other musicians who you play with. Or if you're doing this with another singer, right, you can do other things. Like if you know certain rhythms, if you're reading a rhythm pattern, let's say you're reading a song clave, which is a very common salsa rhythm, which goes something like this: cha 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 cha. So if you want to adopt that on the piano, why do when you could kind of break it down? You're not going to have kick and snare in a drum kit scenario going kick and snare together. It sounds horrible. They would always have an interplay between the two drums of the drum kit. Or the same thing with the tabla. You'll find him playing the bass one and the high one not together. It's not going to be do like that. It's going to be one by one. So same story here. So if you're doing that cha 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 cha, maybe you could consider left right right left right left right right, stuff like that. So you could also gain inspiration from the actual drummer who you're jamming with, or the drums in the song. You could put on a song and try to navigate through only what the drummer is doing. You could use an app like Moises, for instance, which can isolate certain instruments, and it's really cool. You should check it out. So you have the challenge is, of course, singing it, but you have to see what you can do, right? Go all tabla on the piano at some point as well. So syncopation is something where you just tell yourself left and right need to chat with each other. So how does a chat work? The two hands should not talk at the same time, otherwise it becomes a useless conversation. So it's the first thing, the left hand says something, the right hand responds, like sort of like a Q&A or just a chat, an interaction between the bass and the treble, so to speak, right? I hope that will work for you, and I hope you enjoy that approach of accompanying yourself on the piano. I have one final word of advice on how you can accompany yourself on the piano, super easy. That would be, just start with the melody and harmonize it how you see fit. So what I mean by that is, if you take a G, now that's a note. This note will have a lot of chords which can serve it well, and there they are: G major, G minor, E flat major, maybe C major, C major, C minor, and then E minor, right? You can do so many things with just G. For example, la da da da, now what she's singing, Adele, in the song is, she's not only doing this is the end, she's doing this is the end, but she eventually lands on that note. So be aware of, well, in the melody you have two kinds of notes. We have the landing and we have the connecting or the passing note. So if you land on G, that's going to end up being a note which you want to find a chord for, or harmonize as we call it. So this is the end. You don't want to do this is, you want to harmonize the word end or the end. This is the end. So you choose a chord for that. And as it turns out, they use 3 chords for that. This is the end, G minor, E flat major, C major, and Adele takes a break because she doesn't need to sing anything more. There's a note G, and the composer has just played 3 chords for the price of just 1 G. This is the end. You have so many examples like this, where the melody is probably you don't even know what came first. It's like a chicken and egg scenario, whether the tune came first or the chords came first. And sometimes I ask some musician friends, how did you write that song? And some of them actually don't know. So maybe when you write a good song, it's that chicken and egg thing which is happening. You think of the melody, then the chord. Then you think of a chord, and then the chord gives you a melody. Things like that. So just off the top, if we just build some music, la 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 la, that's B minor. Da da re da re re re, G minor. Ti da 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 re da da, C. Ti do 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 do, that's a D7. Ta da 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 da, ti do da 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 da, E minor. Ta da 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 do, ta da 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 do, la da de, la de da, la da da, la da da. Now what chord to do there? La da dee. What's the chord? Maybe that ta da da. Na na na. La da da. La la la. Stay with the same note. La la la. La la la. Stay with the same note. La la la. E major. La da 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 da. Glamorous way to eventually come back to A. Na 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 na. So you can also make music which is not very diatonic. It can be just music which just has a note there and a chord which supports it, and you don't know where it will go. It becomes a very adventurous way to write stuff. So that's an idea I have for you, not only to accompany yourself, but also to compose and rearrange songs and make it about the melody if you're trying to work on your chords, because accompaniment needs chords and it needs a rhythm pattern. So let's just recap all the 5 approaches towards piano accompaniment, which I think you can definitely make some use of, and let me know what you think as well in the comments whenever you get towards playing some of these patterns. So we first looked at fifth chords with basically a bass movement. Then we looked at building basic arpeggios. 3, 6. Then we looked at our ballad style, which is based on ratios. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. In this case, 1:4. Left hand once and right hand 4 times. Then we looked at syncopation, where you have a groove in your mind like chak, chak, tak, 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 and figure out a way to kind of execute it on the piano. Okay. And last but not least, look at it as an adventurous process where you have the melody as the pivot or the focal point, figure out the landing notes of the melody, and then associate chords with it using a variety of strategies. Like one step would be just write down the available chords of the scale you're in and just experiment, just see which chord works fine. And when you have to choose the chord and when you have to find the chord for a song, you're also motivated to playing it a lot better than when you're just reading it off a chart. So that's something I like to do very often when I learn songs or accompany songs. Try to figure it out on your own. Use your ears, use your logic, use your brain, understand why that chord is being played in the first place. What is it doing to the song, right? Right, guys, so that's about it. These were 5, I hope, super easy ways to accompany yourself or any of your friends or bandmates on the piano. And maybe you could use these even in a recording studio. You could use this in a band setting. I hope you can use some of these concepts on stage as well. If you're a singer-songwriter, hopefully it helps you to make some music, as a singer-songwriter. There are a lot of polyphonic instruments out there, but almost all these instruments, the guitar, the piano, the banjo, and whatnot, will always look at standard patterns which we can cling on to while we are focusing on sort of the bigger picture, which is composing a melody, writing the lyrics, putting it all together, and so on. Right? Hope this lesson was useful. Continue to support the channel. Thanks a ton for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button if you liked the video. Leave us a comment with something you'd like to learn in the future, and hit the subscribe. That'll be very helpful. There's a bell also for regular notifications. Thanks a ton. This is Jason.